you're sounding like one of the campers. How you doing? Yeah,
2012-2013 Freshers Station Workshop. I would like to recognize the Dean of Students who is representing the Vice Chancellor, Professor A.R.A. Anada. I'd also like to recognize our mother, the Deputy Registrar Student, Mrs. Stella Shuona. I'd like to recognize the coordinator of the Gender Mainstreaming Office, and I'd like to invite her to the high team, Dr. Stella Odebon. I'd also like to recognize and invite to the table the coordinator, Youth Friendly Center, Mrs. Olukemi Akinyemi. Our key speakers for today, I'd like to recognize them and invite them to the high table. We have Dr. Demola Louise from the Department of Linguistics. I'd also like to recognize and invite to the table Dr. F.C. Ubokolo from the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology. I'd also like to recognize the vocal person from the International School, University of Ibadan, Mr. Abenga Jonathan. Shall we rise for the national anthem thereafter the university anthem?
Nigeria's call obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and fame. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and
student, Professor A.R.A. Ahada, for the goodwill message. He's representing the Vice Chancellor, Professor Isaac Folosho. A round of applause.
Thank you. The Deputy Registrar Students, the Coordinator, Gender Mainstreaming Office, University of Ibadan, the Coordinator of Youth Friendly Center, distinguished speakers, dear students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by personally, I want to commend the Gender Mainstreaming Office for organizing this sensitization workshop for not so fresh, but new students of the University of Ibadan. Because I understand that even for the strike, many of you will be promoted to the next level in your program. However, be that as it may, it is still a nice thing. I would must commend the Gender Mainstreaming Office for giving it to still sensitize us to this, the whole activity of gender mainstreaming. Having said that, let me also say that the Vice Chancellor, Professor Isaac Folosho Adewale, would have loved to be here personally, but for the exigencies of his work, I couldn't make it. But he has asked me to represent him and also to present his speech. So what I'm presenting now is the speech of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Isaac Adewale. On behalf of the Governing Council, management staff, and students of the University of Ibadan, I am pleased to welcome you all to this workshop organized by the Gender Mainstreaming Office of the University of Ibadan. I particularly want to welcome all the gender focal persons to this freshers workshop. Gender equity involves fairness in accessing resources, opportunities, and ensuring equal reward for equal work. As the first and the best university in the country, and one with a very strong consciousness of its role in setting the pace in academic work, research, and community engagement, the university has committed itself to bold initiatives true to our vision of academic excellence. We have also been concerned with a vision to foster the formation of healthy identities, a community characterized by equity, a sense of self-worth and fulfillment. The recent approval of the Gender and Sexual Harassment Policy document by the University Senate is yet another evidence of the commitment of our university to remain a beacon of innovation and transformation in Nigeria and Africa. I am therefore filled with renewed hope and expectation that the workshop will strengthen gender mainstreaming in our universities, in pursuit of which University of Ibadan stands. Therefore, this golden opportunity is provided for you to ask challenging questions. This will lead to a robust outcome in the light of which university will be better off. My door, that is the door of the Vice Chancellor's office, is therefore wide open to students to enhance mutual benefits in the area of mainstreaming gender into the university system. I wish to congratulate the current gender focal person, Dr. Stella O. Odebody, and her team of dedicated staff for taking appropriate steps and initiatives to translate the dream and vision of Gender Mainstreaming Office into reality. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I also welcome you all to this workshop and urge you to put in your best in ensuring intelligent and profitable discussions. I wish you fruitful deliberations and God's blessings. Speech by Professor Isaac F. Adewale, FAS, Vice Chancellor Ostoman. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize the representative of the HOD Political Science, Dr. Ade Isuma. I'd like to invite the coordinator of the Gender Mainstream Office, Dr. Stella Odeboni, for her welcome address. A round of applause for her.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by Professor Alada, the Dean of Students of the University of Ibadan. The coordinator of the Youth Friendly Center, Mrs. Akinyemi. The Deputy Registrar Students, Mrs. Shola, who is always here with us. Is one of our gender focal persons, actually. Dr. Ubogolo, of the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology, and Dr. Demola Luis of the Faculty of Arts. He's also one of the gender focal persons too. So you can see that in the gender mainstreaming office, we have both male and female. So it's not restricted to just only females. And my students, I want to welcome you all to this 2012 and 2013 Freshers Sensitization Workshop, organized by the Gender Mainstreaming Office of the University of Ibadan. I am actually glad that a forum like this is being organized to orientate our students, especially the young minds, on issues pertaining to the policies of the University of Ibadan, especially those rules and regulations that will call for peaceful coexistence among male and female students as well as staff within the university community. The main reason for organizing this workshop borders on gender and sexual harassment policy documents of the University of Ibadan. The gender policy documents and then the sexual harassment policy documents, they are there for you as fresh students. And we check through the flyers that you have with you. We have 2 flyers in the file. One on gender policy and the other one on sexual harassment policy. You can check your folder and see if those flyers are there. The reason why we have those flyers is to make you more conscious of your new environment and equally apply a gender lens in promoting human dignity as you carry out your daily activities on campus. We want you to buy into this purpose, examine and implement practical ways of living peacefully with others on campus while you maintain your integrity and advance the cause of gender equity so that we can make the campus a peaceful and a better place for us to live. It is my hope that at the end of this workshop, you will be better informed and equipped on the need to be gender sensitive in whatever you do within and outside this campus. Gender sensitive habits and activities are those that involve mutual care and consideration for the progress of both male and female in a community. Gender sensitivity in any environment entails making both genders secure, helping both genders to build up confidence and feelings of self-worth within the university community. It is therefore crucial to know that physical or emotional abuse has no place in a gender-sensitive environment. I don't know whether any of you have witnessed it. Someone is coming and say, you should have to move fast. Why are you moving like who? A woman? So it's only a woman that moves rubbish. Answer me the male students. Or sometimes it's somebody driving, the person is a man actually, and he's driving recklessly in front. They say, oh, madam, please, can't you, why are you driving like a woman? How is a woman drive? For God's sake. Are we in trouble? So this is why we are here. There is a need for us to mind our language, there's fairness. It is good that in many associations on campus now, we have female as presidents, you know. So we are giving an opportunity to both men and female to participate in the scheme of things on this campus. So at this juncture, I want you to know that the University of Ibadan is committed to the attainment of gender equity in the society. A cumulative research output on gender studies in the University of Ibadan has led to the development of the gender policy document of the University of Ibadan. And this includes our vision to be a world-class university where gender equity is institutionalized. Our students and staff integrate gender-friendly perspective into personal and professional needs in achieving the aims and goals of the university. We also have a mission. If you look at the flyers in your file, you see the mission there, and the main objective is to train students to understand the concept of gender and sex. If I ask you now, can you differentiate between gender and sex? Many people say the same thing, but they don't mean the same thing. So through this workshop, we are going to get to know what gender means, what sex means, and then the need for the sexual harassment policy. The University of Ibadan has a peculiar goal of producing graduates who are sound in knowledge and character. And one of the strategies adopted in achieving this goal is by respecting the dignity and rights of all, while striving for excellence in knowledge generation. Let's all help our university achieve this vision by being gender sensitive and gender wise. Treat all with equity. Don't discriminate, and don't use words that put down anyone, male or female. In case of any complaint as regards sexual harassment, just follow the complaint procedure that will be given to you during the course of this workshop. Going by the acronym known as BEAM, which means together each achieves more. I strongly believe we can make the University of Ibadan a gender-friendly campus by ensuring that staff and students, male and female, have equal access to participate in programs and share resources, career advancement, and then adequate security at all times, and then a conducive environment for knowledge generation and discrimination. Together, we can remove the barriers and increase possibilities. I therefore encourage you all to pay attention in the course of this workshop. Once again, I want to congratulate you and wish you success in all your academic pursuits and a wonderful stay on campus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'd like to recognize the representative of the Head Department of Wildlife and Ecotourism Management, Mr. O.M. Coker. So all of us to move outside for a group photograph before we go for the next presentation. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor, ably represented by the Dean of Students, my sister and namesake, Dr. Stella Odebode, other members on the high table. I want to start from where she stopped with regards to confidence in oneself. As ladies, we are not second-class citizens, and as a gentleman, you are not a superior citizen. The most important thing in life is the ability to be able to coexist peacefully. Let me ask you, do you have all female in nursing department? I want you to respond. Do you have all female in nursing department? No. Do you have all male in law? No. Even here. So your classmates are both male and female, which means you both have equal opportunities. In those days, our parents will restrict the female children to particular professions: teacher, nurse, tailoring, secretary, hairdresser. They have their reasons. But the world has changed. The world has changed. So every one of you should see yourself as a potential leader. I won't be surprised if one of you becomes the president of Nigeria in the future. Maybe then you would have grown old, but we'll be happy. Please ensure that you accommodate one another, you tolerate one another, you overlook mistakes, and then even see opportunities in mistakes and encourage one another. Let me end by telling you the experience I had with my son at age 10. We both traveled to the US. From Atlanta to Louisville, and we take a shuttle flight. We didn't know it was a woman that was the captain. When we got to around Kentucky, we were told that the weather was very bad. It was raining every day, and that we would have to stop there for about 20 minutes. So when the plane landed, the lady came out from the cockpit and then just walked down the plane. And then one of the cabin managers, they call them now, said, "Oh, Captain, you want something?" And then my son asked me, "Are you saying it's a woman that has been in control since we started this thing?" I said, "Yes." So, why? I said, "Why not?" I said, "Do you want to come out of the plane and then we can go and take a bus or wait for the one that will be piloted by a man to come?" He said, "No, but Mom, they said it is only a man that can pilot a plane. And it's only a man that can be the captain of a ship. Are you saying?" I said, "Yes, but you have seen it yourself." We took off again and then landed in Louisville. I said, "Oh, what a smooth landing." I said, "By a woman." So that is the orientation. So we should all try to change our orientation. We have successful surgeons that are women, and we have successful surgeons that are men. So we are together, partners in progress. And when we finally came back to Nigeria, it was a male who piloted the plane, and the landing was not smooth at all. It was just like jigging on the ground. And I said, this man again, impatience. So he looked at me and said, I wish it were that lady. I said, whoa. You see, he has changed his orientation about. So we are together, created by God for a purpose. And I'm sure at the end of this sensitization exercise, you will have reasons to cooperate with one another the more than what we are doing now. Thank you. Enjoy yourself.
I think the spirit of the gender mainstream of this have been hard to anchor the space of the program. Before we go ahead, I'd like to recognize the presence of Sally Jordan, who is representing the level of sport here. I'll have to move our time. I'd like to call on Dr. Mola Lewis for the first presentation.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Chief Focal Person, Dr. Stella Benoni, and all the other members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'll be view of gender, and can you guys hear me? Say that it must be. We paid for this, so we have to use it. So look at overview of gender and some stereotypes. First, we want to make a distinction between gender and sex. So what is gender and what is sex? Now, sex is a physiological state of being male or female. So whether we're born male or female, that's what sex is. So it's a biology. It comes about by biological differences between females and males as determined at birth. So it's whether you have the X in X chromosome or you have the X in Y chromosome. And of course, you know that the man has to deliver the Y chromosome. So if the man delivers the X chromosome, it's a female. And if the man delivers the Y chromosome, it's a male. So it all depends on the man, really, the accident of nature, to deliver a male or a female. So it's not the fault of the woman that she doesn't have no child. So that's sex. Gender is a social construct of roles, rights, and privileges. Roles, rights, privileges, resources, responsibilities, prejudices, and as prescribed for male and female. So society says, if you're male, this is how you behave. If you're female, this is how you behave. If you're male, these are the kind of occupations that you must yearn for. If you're female, these are the kind of things that you must do. That's what gender is, basically. So I was listening to that song, Baby Pullover, by Casey, and I realized that, you know what Baby Pullover is all about now, you guys. I have to keep a secret from Dr. Adebode here. She doesn't know what Baby Pullover is. Inner lights and all those kind of things. But sometimes I wonder, you have Limpopo, you have Baby Pullover, and all these funny songs, where the emphasis is on the females and no emphasis on the males. So females are just sexual instruments. That's one of the social constructs that we have around. So you're advertising bata shoes and you're advertising with naked women. It's a social construct. Women are just instruments. I'm looking forward to the time when the women are gonna produce their own Limpopo and use the men dancing naked. Then we'll probably have a gender balance and we'll see the reaction of men to that. They're going to come up and say, no, this is not manly, and so on. So why do you do it to women? It's one of the social constructs that we must try to bring down. Alright? So social constructs are power relations, of hierarchy, and so on. These roles lead up to stereotypes. For instance, within the ambit of sex, we have the physical and the physiological development, So you and I know that we cannot have children without the cooperation of male and female, right? And you ordinarily do not have a man carrying a baby for 9 months and deliver a baby. So these are physical, physiological, developments that we can't change. And they also lead on to some psychological things. That's why you find out that in the main, women are a lot more understanding, a lot more dexterous because they handle the child and all of that. But that's not to say that men cannot do that, and there are no men that do that. It's not also to say that because of their physiological state, that women should handle all the chores at home, and men should do none of that. It means that we all have to learn as many skills as we can and not create some ceilings for men in the kitchen and ceilings for women in, like, the boardroom, for instance. Women can never be chief executive. The chief executive for Ford now is a woman. I think she's called Mary Barra. Ford Motors. Can you imagine? That's interesting. But the point is, women have this, we have this physiological states and reproductive years. Like when a woman has a first child, to when she probably has trained them to a level where she doesn't have to spend too much time with them. It takes like 17 years. Now, it then does not mean that all that 17 years has to be spent just taking care of the children without any assistance from the guy who donated the sperm. You know, so we have to rethink the way we look at things. But of course, there are advantages that also come from that. We are not saying that we should therefore not take care of the family and the home. We're saying that roles have to be shared in the family and the home. Are you following? So for instance, you hear that Nico Baga has sang Sweet Mother. Okay, Sweet Mother is a very popular song, even though your generation probably didn't hear it much. But you know Sweet Mother, don't you? Sweet Mother, and then forget, that's the guy sang Sweet Father. But nobody knows Sweet Father. So that's part of the advantage of taking care of details like that in the home front. Men get very jealous later on in the years when the children are affiliated more to their mothers than to their fathers. So you find men after they are retired, they have spent their whole time outside the house doing nothing. And they come back and say that the woman is grouping the children against them and this and that. You understand what I'm saying? Precisely because you're not taking care of your responsibilities, your domestic responsibilities before that time. So you can't blame anybody for not having affections towards you. I have an uncle who's late now, but he taught me a great lesson. He was a businessman and his wife made a lot of progress professionally. She became a director general in Lagos State. And what happened was that he would take the kids, we will bathe them, take them to school, do their homework with them and all of that. And everybody was happy. When Asisola retired, she realized that she was isolated. So she began to complain the same way that men would complain about their wives, that the man was grouping the children against her. But that was the only person that they knew when they were growing. I told you, man, this is... That was the only person that knew when they were growing. You understand me? So there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Okay, good. This is like the so, okay, fine. Psychic, the quality of life, because the kind of networking that you do, the kind of environments that you can get to, determine many times what privileges you can enjoy. You understand what I'm saying? Are you following? Yes. So when you restrict the environment that people can operate in, then automatically you're restricting their privileges and possibilities that they can attain. Am I going to school? The Dean of Law, in the person of Professor Madam, you go to the hands. In Nigeria, would you say that women live the same quality of life of your counterpart male? If we can't say that, then we do have a certain gender power. Are you following? So if living in UI, for instance, is better for the boys than it is for the girls, for instance, then we imagine that the girls cannot benefit from the fact that Kennedy is open 24 hours. You have to rush to your halls and all of that because there's not enough security. If that's the case, then we haven't got a gender balance. Are you following? Cool. Alright, so it affects development because development involves harvesting the talents of everyone, male or female. And there's some kinds of talents that females have that males do not. And there's certain kinds of talents that males have by their psyche that females do not. So if it's just the male's psyche that is dominating, then of course something is suffering. Are you following? So fine. Technological advancements also hamper universal gender balance, So even in same-sex relationships, there's always gender. You would have a pop and a guy, pop being the female, acting effeminate. If you look at any marriage, the world is going crazy. That's my personal opinion. In Utah, same-sex marriage is legal. And immediately everybody from the US rushed there to get married. All the gays that wanted to get married. And you notice for every photograph, you would know who is the male and who is the female. Because the female among the two ladies that are getting married would act like the female, and the male will be so domineering. So in any relationship, be it between males. Now, the way to test whether there's gender equity is to say to yourself, if I change my sex, will there be any benefits that will come? Will there be more opportunities? Will there be more networking? Will I have more responsibilities? Will I have more rights? Will my earnings increase or decrease if I change my sex? If the answer to any of these questions is that there will be an increase or there will be an advantage, then there is gender inequity. Are you following? Okay. Would you rather be male? Ladies, would you rather be male? Males, would you rather be female? Like you say, that's even possible. Okay. So that means that there's something you guys are deriving, male and female, that you need to share with the others. That's the gist. Okay. When they say that a woman that's like a man, people think that that's a compliment, isn't it? The woman is actually, but it's an insult. It says, how can you say a woman is like a man? She's a woman. It means that women are not competent fellows, they're not strong, they can't endure. So that's why you're saying that you're likening us to a man. So if I said to you, you are a man like a woman, you say, oh no, magic. So why did you say a woman is like a man? You have to take everybody for who they are. And you have to realize that this woman is great, not because she's trying to be like a man, but because she is a great woman. Just like you have many great men and you have many useless men. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not because she's a woman or not. Okay, good. Both sexes have equal rights, freedom, conditions, and opportunities to realize their full potential. Once I can realize my full potential, regardless of whether I'm male or female, then there's gender equity. Societal values, if a society values males and females equally for their similarities and differences, our similarities are important, our differences are equally important. Differences build society, not similarity. I'm still working with you saw a graceful lady step in. Dr. Mrs. Laila Page, she's the Deputy Dean of Students. those who represent us, and those that we choose to do things on our behalf. There must be balance in representation. There must be balance in participation. You must go out of your way to get women to participate. The reason being that there's been a history of the disregard of women. So you must go out of your way to get women to participate. And that's not doing anything wrong. It's that you're trying to get everybody even at the end of the day. For now, you can review that policy later when things are even. Benefits afforded males and females according to their respective needs. So, equity, fairness does not mean that everybody must have everything equal. It means that with respect to your needs, the needs a lady needs, for example, a maternity leave, she gets it. She gets maybe 3 months. The male needs a paternity leave, he gets it. He gets maybe 2 weeks to prepare the naming ceremony and all of that and all of that. So, but what we're saying is fairness. You treat all your children equally, but you know that they have different needs and you meet their separate needs. That's exactly what fairness means in equity. Cool. So, a few ideas about how this social construct, just reading Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, Okonkwo would say that his daughter that he loves so much, Ezema, if she had been a boy, I would have been happier. She has the right spirit. So his problem is that she's a girl, despite the fact that she has the right spirit. And you'd be surprised that many of us have grown up thinking like that. I mean, when a lady has daughters, she's so worried and upset. And then her mother-in-law begins to talk to her mother-in-law, another thing, for God's sake. And then when they now have the boy, they say, God has given me a crown, and so. And begin to treat the boy in such a way that he becomes a useless person. Because you're spoiled him, And then all the ladies are responsible, you disregard them. It's my only son. What does that mean? So, Eberike says, I remember when I was a young boy, we were talking about a couple that died. The husband died and the wife, when she heard about his death, went into our heart and died too. And they said that the two of them were too close. He could do nothing without telling his wife. And then Okonkwo says, but I thought it was a man. How can he do nothing without telling his wife? Because in society we're told, you can't tell a woman everything. And the women say, okay, it's not everything that you should tell the husband. And so therefore, society is the way it is. We come with those ideas. It was only this morning that Okonkwo and I were talking about Abdul and Anita, where entitled men climb trees and pound food for their wives. It was seen that if you were an entitled man, you didn't have to do some little tasks in the house or tap palm wine. How could you do that? That was, degrading the title and all of that stuff. And that's the psyche we grew up. You can be sure that many of us think that there are certain things that a guy should not do. And then we shouldn't cry, for instance, even though we do. But we hide to cry. And therefore we keep many things possible. Gender is not about women. These are some of the stereotypes that we have to fight against. Gender is not just about women. We say, for example, it's been mentioned, women are bad drivers. So you see someone, maneuver wrongly, and then you say to yourself, oh God, abajo, Ubering, Meanwhile, most of the downfall drivers that have hit your car, are men. But you don't think that men are grumpy drivers. In the market, they say to you, what's the man doing in the market? Is it so that your wife will not save 200 naira from the money you gave her to go and buy that you are coming here, you're a Jebu man? Begin to insult you. And some ladies won't even sell to you because you are male. I mean, what the hell are you doing here? Men are promiscuous. Men are terrible guys. They're very, that's a license now. It's okay, the men can do whatever they like. The women are nothing to fool around. I mean, that's like giving a license to the men to continue to be promiscuous. Females oppose females. So they say, because the DVC administration is female, that's why this head of department who is female is opposing her. Meanwhile, there was a DVC administration that was male, and there were 11 other male heads of the department that were opposing him. Nobody saw that. So females oppose females. But they don't say that men oppose men, but men oppose men. So what's the point you're trying to make? So because she's a female, even if my opinion is different, I should just align? No. Alright, so the male child is paramount. We saw that already. Women are the victims of gender violence. That's not true. I keep on telling this story about my Babalawo man. But gender violence, as we know, is not just about beating up. Some women can beat up their husbands with the kind of things that they say. They make him less than a human being. That's gender violence. So, but this Babalawo guy, his wife used to beat him up. So she'll beat him up and he'll run out of the house and he'll go off for a few weeks and then come back. He lived right opposite us, and this is a true story. So eventually I found out that the reason he would allow his wife beat him up because that was where his strength lay. Because if he beat up his wife, then he would automatically negate all his strength and he will not be potent any longer as a Babalawo. So he has let his wife beat him up. And she's having a good time. Alright, so notice that female drinks alcohol. Wow. How can you take women from the good things of life? Alright, so fun. Women are good listeners. Women are good listeners. Yes, so are some men. So it's not that because you're a woman, you're a good listener. I have examples of women that don't listen at all. An examples of men that don't listen at all. So it doesn't make us automatically good listeners. Males are rational, and beg your pardon. Females, emotional. Okay, alright. But you have so many, you realize that that's not quite true. At the end of the day, men should lead, wives should not be told everything. All females are made up as witchy. I think that's true. Yeah, that one's true. Of course not. I mean, it's impossible. You can't think like this. Okay? The right answers to these questions. Who washes your clothes? Washing machine? Mommy. Who makes your bed? Answer no. Who cooks your meals? Who pays your school fees? Who helps you with your homework? Who cuts your nails? And if the answer is a kindergarten, coming from a kindergarten book, and the answer had to be right. So my daughter had to answer right. The mother was explaining that you can't say that you did this because they'll score you a zero. So it's mommy, and that's the way it goes. That's stereotype. You understand what I'm saying? There's no reason why either of them would not have done all that is listed here. Are you following me? And if you want to be gender balanced, that's where you have to start. You all have to do this at home. You have to take care of the domestics. You have to share tasks, as it were. Okay, these are the nonsense. This is I'm just telling you that these are the best cooks in the world, the chefs in the world, and 75% of them are men. So the space of, oh my God, 7 minutes to go, that's terrible, 5 minutes. Okay, the place of women is not just the kitchen, that's the point. So you have to give your wife a good time sometime. I mean, cook at weekends. If you don't have time during the week, what's wrong with daddy's in charge of cooking at weekends? What the hell is wrong with that? That makes you more manly, it doesn't make you less manly. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you do not do that, then you miss out later on when you're retired and all of that, and you want to enjoy real family life. You're going to miss out because you're not going to be as intimate with your family as you ought to be. And they probably will die earlier than, from hypertension or something. Now in Nigeria, for example, last year, our life expectancy was 52.5 years. So we're expected averagely to live for 52.5 years. How many years do you have to go? Alright, so finally, so the males are worse off. They have 48.95 years. My God, I'm very close to change. Okay, and then the females 65.3. But the point is this. No, the point is this. Why is it that in every of the statistics we'll see that the females live longer than men? Because the men think that they can carry all the responsibility. Because they spend themselves out stupidly trying to be the sole breadwinner. Even then, when the wife walks, male ego will say, no, I don't want you to spend your money on my family. I'll take care of everything. Then he kills himself, he walks over time, The whole back tears because she never cried. Not having been home with the kids, they are envious of the sweet mother. And the females don't live much longer after the man has died anyway. They handle domestics alone. I mean, so everything. I mean, have you tried to do domestics alone? Oh my God, it's crazy. They even revoke any attempts to be assisted. For instance, you've heard women say, no, don't come into my kitchen, don't step into my kitchen, this is none of your business. And you're saying that it's terrible. They begrudge males for not providing enough. The money is not enough and so on and so forth. They wish for the leaders to earn more by spending more time working. They die shortly after the bills since they can't maintain the lifestyle that they were living before the men. I mean, these are just hypothetical, but I'm saying that we can do better, we can live longer if we realize that we have to complement, one another. So exemptions are equal to privations. For instance, they were saying in my department sometime that whatever people, they didn't want to disturb the ladies with invigilation. And how can you not disturb? I mean, I don't know what that means. You don't want to disturb the ladies in the invigilation. But the men are going to be paid for invigilating. So, without asking them whether they wanted to invigilate or not, you deprive them of that opportunity, saying that it was an exemption that they didn't want. Are you following me? Male or female has to decide whether they want to participate in the invigilation. You can't just say they're not going to participate. That way people become indispensable. Only males may work extra time. Childbearing is the female out there, so it's just a maternity leave. But sorry, we need our paternity leave. Because when your wife has a baby, you have to run around a lot. Get things ready for your famous naming ceremony. You have to do a lot of other domestics that you ordinarily wouldn't do. We need a paternity leave, for God's sake. And I'm saying it because I'll be needing one soon again. Alright, so fine. Home builder status. Now, if a lady tells you that she's a home builder, which means that she's not working formally, sometimes we look down on them, don't we? We do. We do because we think that, this woman is doing this. The famous saying that when you want to buy ordinary pants, you're going to ask your husband for money. What's wrong with this? No, but the point is whether she's happy doing it or not. If she doesn't feel contented by that, then she's being oppressed. You understand what I'm trying to say? But it's not necessarily a bad thing. So we don't create the impression that every female has to be in the boardroom at the same time. Are you following what I'm saying? For instance, in Germany, nursery schools close at 11:30. Very few people can afford maids, for instance. So someone, male or female, has to take care of the children after nursery school. One person has to do it, male or female. It doesn't necessarily have to be the female. It could be the male. But I keep on saying that that's the reason that you will not hear that in Germany, a private school kid went to school, shot his classmates, his teacher, and shot himself. You won't. But you will hear that in the US even last week. Are you following me? Because people are not taking care of the home front. If the mother is not at home, then the father should be at home, or they share the time. Are you following me? That's part of gender balance. So we cannot say because we're promoting this particular gender situation, then we'll neglect family situation. That's also equally important. What should then happen is that the men have to spend more time trying to take care of the family. Are you following me? If you indeed are sincere about being gender balanced, wearing a gender, you have to spend time with your family. You have to do domestic things so as to let your wife make her more capable of doing other things. Are you following me? That's the kind of support that we need. Alright, so in the gender is always important. It's the peak of the iceberg of society. Whatever, race, age, language, religion, heritage, gender is always involved. So we have to wear a lens and ensure that in whatever sphere we're operating, gender is taken care of. Okay, cool. So not to wear this invisible, not to be acting this invisible ceiling, this glass ceiling that puts a barrier for females, for instance. Some people won't imagine the UI vice chancellor female. When the Americans had a chance to elect a female as president, that's when they chose a black man. Because they didn't want female. That's a little joke. But really, that's the reality. until Clinton, Mrs. wanted to become president that Obama got the chance to be. So these are some of the things that, without knowing, there's a glass ceiling there. There's a ceiling that we're put, and we're not going to go beyond. We're saying these people cannot get beyond this category. It had to be put in the gender policy of UI that the top 3 persons, one of them has to be of the other gender. That's if you have the vice chancellor and the 2 deputy vice chancellors, one of them has to be of the other gender. So you can only have 2 male and 1 female, or 2 female and 1 male. Are you following me? These are the kind of things that you do to remove that ceiling as it were. It's not a losers and winners game. Not an issue of being more than they are. Every overwhelming majority is indicative of the gender gap. We have to realize that gender is not a fusion of the roles. It's not as if we're saying we don't want females again, or we don't want the traditional female roles. We only want the traditional male roles. No, it's not a fusion, it's a fission. It's complementarity that we're talking about. It's not competition, it's complementarity. Now, if you have gender balance, you elect to do chores at home and so on. Give everyone, male and female, space to give oneself completely. Not a mere mimicking of male, that's not what gender balance is. Not just trying to be effeminate, trying to be like a woman. No, that's not what gender balance is. It also implies raising the value of traditional feminine roles and ensuring that they share these roles, harvesting all the kinds of talents and skills for development. And this implies, in the case of Nigeria, UI, some areas of affirmative action, which means that for a particular period, you encourage qualifying persons, people who are qualified to apply to take certain positions. We're not talking about people who are not qualified. You cannot represent UI in a competition just because you are female, or just because you are male. And that happened. For instance, recently, we just won the Yabara West African, the ECOWAS oratory contest, and it was a 200-level young lady of communications that beat the rest of West Africa in Ghana. She's in communications here at GUI, Dami Okoyomo. All right, so, and this is not the first time. She did it in the bilateral games in Ghana as well, and so, female. So, we didn't have to go out looking for. It wasn't as if we put a sign out for female. They wrote, essays and all of that stuff, and blind essays, and they were graded. And then they came for training, and she won eventually in Ghana. In the Zain Africa Challenge of 2009, there was an issue about UI presenting all boys team and all of that stuff. But that all boys team came from the fact that the ladies had also been encouraged and everybody came in, and at that moment, it was an all-boys team we had. We had to put our best foot forward, and we did win Africa in that competition, didn't we? The following year, the person who was like the captain of the team was a female. It wasn't because anybody went out to say that it had to be a female, but she was just too good. A 17-year-old girl that read everything in the world. And she was just too good. And everybody knew in the team of 20-something that were training that that young lady was going to make that team. So what we're saying is, if we did not give that young lady the opportunity to make that team, we wouldn't have had her. We wouldn't have invested her talents. Are you following? So we have to give everybody equal opportunities. And in a society like this, we have to operate affirmative action. We have to encourage more ladies to do things. Because it's natural, not natural, but it's usual in our own society for ladies to play the background role. Are you following? And ladies themselves have to talk, females have to talk themselves and say, no, we have to try. We can't wait all the time, but we must try all the time. What society and will not forgive us for is that we didn't try. And if we try, we'll be surprised at the results. Okay, so if we have affirmative action, like say if males are qualified and they want to come to nursing, for instance, to take away the social stigma that comes with, oh yeah, my mother in nursing, we say, all right, these guys are qualified, they're coming to nursing, so the first 5 qualified male are going to be sponsored by the university. Or the first 5 qualified females for engineering, for electrical, for instance, are going to be sponsored by the university. those kind of affirmative actions that the disparity as well. As a cultural, institutional culture. Yes, I know I should get 3 minutes to me. Okay. So, I talked already about gender and admission and so on. So, gender and representation. Go the extra mile to encourage female nomination and representation, not because they are female, but because they are competent. I talked about the debate. We can put the top 3 thing too. Why must it be? Well, it's not the case right now. But time was when it was thought that the president of any institution has to be male, and then the vice president will be what? Female, automatic. And ISI, for instance, they have 2. They have the head boy and the head girl. And without even saying, it's not written down, but it's taken. And the head boy is the number 1 citizen, and the head girl is number 2. So the first person that is consulted is the head boy. Why? Because that's so. Why should it be so? It should be categorically stated every time that, okay, this is head boy and this is head girl. And the fact is that for this section, the head girl is number 1. Because of the criteria that was used, for selection. Are you following me? So it's not that automatically the head girl is number 2 citizen. It doesn't happen that way. Okay. We should observe the gender climate in our environment, and we should try to get familiar with our gender policy. It's online. You can download the scrolls, it's scrolling while you go on the UI homepage. So you can download the gender policy, the sexual harassment policy. Try to read it and understand it very well. We do not want Z-heights, for instance, catcalling the babies when they come back. All these kind of funny things. It shows that we're near animals. We shouldn't behave like that. It's not right. As a matter of fact, what we should be doing is ensuring that those ladies have safe passage. Safe passage, that's what we should be doing. Are you following me? Yeah. I guess that's about, we should avoid stereotypes, assign roles based on talent and not sex. And we should yearn for fair representation based on merits. So it's not just, we're insisting that it's not just representation. We're not saying women should be cosmetics. No, no. That would be embarrassing women. We're saying there are competent women out there that we must harvest. Are you following me? And we're not the better for it if we do not harvest. Are you following me? Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Another round of applause. I'd like to call on the Dean of Law, Professor Oluyemisi Bambushis, for his few remarks.
And being promptly and decisively with all cases of sexual harassment. I remember in 2010, there was a case that was read in the media of what happened at Amusali University in Congo. What was the case? Sexual harassment of a lecturer that was always harassing a particular ministry and did not want that lady to graduate. The girl called the man to her where she was living in town. And the set up, there was a set of course. The man was so embarrassed before he knew what he did. Okay, he was pleading and begging and all that. There was another one that happened at Niger State University. I think that was 2011. Okay, where 5 young men raped a girl. The girl was begging to die. She was begging to die. They should just kill her and it was better for her to die. So when we're talking about sexual harassment, it's not tea party. It's something very, very serious. It's about human life. It's about human life. So we know, of course, so many issues came up concerning that. I think the lecturer in Eko might lecture to the university. So what I'm the perpetrator to victim? Never benefits anybody. UI vision on sexual harassment. UI will be an ideal safe and secure place of work and learning where the dignity of all persons is ensured. So as a new step on this campus, the university wants you to relax and participate in what the activities, positive activities going on in the university. Learn, become a better person, become transformed, and become an instrument of transformation when you go back to the larger society. What do we mean by sexual harassment? It includes unwanted sexually motivated conduct. Oh, it does not mean that you like to get hand toast time. You know, toast. Okay? That's the. But he said unwanted. You toast the girl to say, no, I'm not interested. He said, my life. Don't know you. He said, don't tell me no. Okay? Comments and expressions capable of prejudicing or undermining a person's freedom, rights, and privileges. Maybe it's a female lecturer, for instance. You say, well, if the girl does not agree, you can't pass this course. Of course, we don't have that kind of thing happening in this university. You cannot pass this course. Or if the person asks a question, if I let you, she will say, no, keep down that, it's too big. Put on it. Okay? So, it's already affecting your relationship with your student or lecturer. Or, of course, like the thing said, females also harass them. Harass them when you're not so short, exposing them what you shouldn't expose, or you sit down in such a way that you want to confuse man. Alright? Or when the last go, they now come up and throw your Bible and come and bend your feet. Sexual harassment. So you don't always get that men harass women. Females also harass males. So let us have a holistic view of what we are talking about. It may take place over a period of time, maybe continuous cases of sexual harassment, or it could just be one. Yeah, I've never done it before. This is just the first time. This is the first time you found. Do not harass anybody sexually. It can be direct or indirect, including procuring or attempting to offer a person to another person for sexual activity. It happens in some universities. Somebody will be getting young girls, buying young girls for competitions or money bags in town. Are we still? When lady does that on campus, or any young man does that on campus, person is in trouble. It may involve persons of the same sex or opposite sex. Of course, you know Nigerian law now. Anti-gay law. Sexual harassment may be from a superior to a subordinate or vice versa. So, some ways the person has an advantage over me. There are forms of advantage. So, when a student is harassing the superior, the lecturer, and when a male student is harassing the female, the female student is harassing the male student, so it will be either way. Forms of sexual harassment continue to be verbal conduct. So the way one talks to another person could actually be a form of sexual harassment. Unfriendly remarks with sexual connotations. Maybe the person begin to describe her thoughts, okay? Or begin to, just make certain comment just to make her uncomfortable. And remember those who live on the right days in the University of Ibadan. They're not part to their illegal going to India or country and ways of organizing. Anyway, they will say anything, imaginable, including singing, hello, is me, you are looking for. So many things. So, demanding for sexual favors, making for higher grades or other benefits. So, one day you're going to be worker, of course, all of you will work as something. So, it's a no promotion if you don't do this, Or you're looking for what somebody says, you don't sleep with you, can't get this job. That is sexual harassment. Sexist and naked or direct at a person, at someone or person, unsolicited, sexually explicit or suggestive, electronic and mobile messages. We are talking about technology. There are lots of young people who don't know what to do with technology. And they use technology to enter into big problem. Very big problem. There was a case that was reported. A let's say young boys and girls in secondary school. What was the case? Family friends. The young boy invited the girl. My mom has a message for your mom. The boy's mom had gone to work and the girl went there. The child knew that the young man had been with the friends to rape the girl. And the girl innocently went. You know, smart. When she got the message, the rape girl videoed it. The girl was shouting that your neighbors, poor compound, it happened in the valley. They're not on campus. People just like, no, you don't leave from that place. Nobody will be there by this time. The girl let her go wet, clean her eyes and went to. The boy now said, I'm sorry about that. I was not joking. I'm not sorry about that. Know that kind of thing. So people don't know the implications of what they do with technology. With your hands, when you begin to snap what you should snap and begin to post it from one person to the other, you can put in picture. Your freedom somewhere, another person's freedom begins. Or before you somebody takes something and send it straight to the next. So be careful with what you do with technology, the handset you have. So targeting a person with sexual comments. A sexual comment about a person's clothing, body, or shape, I think I mentioned that. Visual and audio content. Taking and sending unwholesome pictures. I talked about that. Or at times, you invite girls into maybe your friend, classmate, or just a friend, to your room. And you go and put UV and you lock the door. That's sexual harassment. And you force the person to watch what he shouldn't watch. That's sexual harassment. So when such cases get to the authority, what will be in trouble? So be very, very careful. Maybe you and your friend you think of to toast a particular case, this girl, she think we are going to deal with her on campus, we must get her. And you think of one of the ways to do that is to do something unwelcome things, then you put yourself in trouble. So we are giving you this information so that you will know and tell your friends and advise your friends and even help your younger ones at home and your relatives. Being forced on this to watch pornography, I've said that. Seductive postures like different dressing and exposure by males or females. I thank God that our university students, well, university students today, we see that problem with some students, very young men. Yes, I don't think we have. I think people are seeing it. So dressing differently is good. Physical conduct, non-consensual sex or attempt to engage in non-consensual sexual intercourse. Just agreement. You want to force the girl or you want to force the young man. Because a young girl that can say this guy I was dating, whatever it is, and begin to engage in all kind of things. So assault or battery, or welcome and unwarranted brushing against a person's body. Can't get there, so what's the matter? Brush your body against her. Say you're brushing your body back, you want to pass or correct. Or welcome harassing or bondage. As you are collecting the Bible, you scratch her hand, or stop these I don't like this, and you continue. Reporting. So when someone is a victim of sexual harassment, what will be pursued in this university? The procedure for implementing the university policy on sexual harassment shall be initiated through formal or informal reporting to the GMO, Gender Registry Office, to fight slavery of people. So a victim can go there and report, formal or informal. Okay? By the victim or anyone. Because I think the victim may be afraid. I call that timidity. If a lecturer is giving somebody tough time, or a student, because the lecturer can even go and come to a previous grade. Okay? Or a witness to incident of rape can go and court. Investigation or receipt of a report from the victim or witness. The officer in charge of the GMO shall immediately initiate steps directed at investigating the true fact. Because someone can make up stories. Somebody can make up stories. Now they go back in and say that you don't need to call the police that wins the case. So at times somebody can fail to set up his procedure, set up the lecturer, and set up. Maybe I'm trying to give attention to the lecturer and how to instead maybe somehow now they can go to give the thing. They can go and report that harassment is going that is not the case. So you have your fact and be sure. That's why they're doing for investigation. So it's not always the case that when somebody comes to report, just know that you don't catch it. They're not supposed to catch anybody. One set environment. So investigation or receipt of report for the victim initiated, self-directed and investigated the true fact and the nature of the matter under consideration to be sure that it was a case of sexual harassment. So when this can be done, then what will happen? On completion of the investigation of a report on sexual harassment by the GMO, which has the primary responsibility for doing this, it shall refer the matter to the appropriate disciplinary committee or law enforcement agencies. So the duty of GMO is to do investigation. When they are sure that this is really a case of sexual harassment, they will take it to the disciplinary committee. In the case of disciplinary committee, in the case of staff disciplinary committee, they will start their own investigation again. The University of Ibadan, when the decision is carried out and somebody is found to be guilty, you know that the person is actually guilty. Because nobody can set up anybody. Okay? And if there's a case of, let me move on. So this includes this method, mediations of the appropriate type of evidence for the legal measure. What can be done? Is it a case of counseling? We need to counsel somebody with the student or what needs to be done and decided. Type of evidence and legal evidence. On completion of the investigation of the report, okay, I think I've done that. Then penalties. The penalty for those ones who have violated this point to a group of non-related monitor. You want to monitor the person. The person is eventual harasser. Does the person need counseling? When the person has a psychological problem, so you have to do some counseling or therapy. Does the person need a counselor? Does the person need a medical doctor? A psychiatrist? And in the case of warning that the missing warning or admonition, maybe be talking to the person, probation, maybe when you go on suspension, without leave. The person can be demoted depending on what the person is doing on campus. Removal from administrative duties. See the person, for instance, the secretary of the department. That kind of person will always have to be coming and going, and use them rights and all that. The person will be removed from that kind of position. Or the person is maybe PG coordinator, okay? Or exam officer, or the person is taking a particular compulsory course. You can take the way that goes to election. Dismissal, expulsion, is explained. The person can be expelled from the university. Any other disciplinary action which the authorities may take. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Do we have any questions, any comments? Do we have any?
My name is Leo from the Faculty of Law. I have questions with me here. Number one is concerning one of our mothers that I went on her experiences when she went to Kentucky, and the flight was very smooth, 25 a female, while vice versa was coming back. She gave a statement and said, this man again, impatience. Is that not gender equality or big sexism that is attributing impatience to men? Secondly, I would like to know the position of the gender mention of this intermingling between both sexes. Like there have been researches all over concerning the difference between single-sex schools and co-schools. The first lecturer, the male lecturer, also mentioned something concerning Section 42 of the Constitution, which talks about freedom from discrimination based on gender, sex, age, and so on. So I'm now asking that, are we saying the theory or policy adopted by the government of Nigeria, that is the federal paragraph, in which they will put, let's say, if they're looking for 3 men to occupy certain governmental offices, one must be Yoruba, one must be Igbo, one must be Hausa, and neglecting meritocracy? Is that not being partial, or if there's another scenario where it's concerned to gender? I used to say that we must put one male, one female, or if both females are capable, then male should be 20% are capable. And then lastly, since you are saying we are not to adhere to social ideologies concerning gender equality, that men should not be domineering, should have equal duties for both sexes. Are we not saying that paying of right price or dowry should be neglected, or the female should be the one paying, or it shouldn't be paid at all? Is it a form of gender equality at all?
Comments. You must ask. You don't take that you understand it. It's not possible.
Please, if you can just be quiet for some time, if you can just wait a little more, I will appreciate that. I wouldn't want you to take your time and just leave. Please. We will soon round up, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayemi Mosolatobi from Faculty of Education, Department of Teacher Education. My first question is this: is there any kind of protection for victims or people that report a case of sexual harassment, in case that sexual harassment is obvious or something that almost everyone knows about? Then I also have a comment. She talked on Hindi, Katanga and Zikai abusing ladies or insulting them. Well, I'm a Katanga and I'm proud to be a Katanga. I just want to comment that it's not all Katangas or all Zikai that do what they claim we do. Even females do it too. How yes. How do it? There was a day I went to our to collect something from a friend. They started singing for me. I'm serious. So, and I want to ask what he said. Calling I would say the school is based in Katanga and Zika is black, but I just want to say that not all Katangas or Zikas are black or very or insulting females. Thank you.
My name is Okwayemi Osho from Department of Adult Education. I want to answer or reply what he said. So what he said. He said our wives started insulting you when you came out, and our wives. And you actually started doing that because they also do that to us. So you are being gender equal. Let me start reacting to the questions from. Okay, somebody said one of the mommies that spoke said the cannot that and someone said
something about the pilot, the female pilot. You know, when we look at gender equality that we've been discussing, she just used that example to let us have a clear description of what we are talking. It's like we all have the belief that not only the adults now, even the young ones believe that everything that is well done should be attributed to men. So when the boys saw that this is surprising, a woman pilot, and I did it so smoothly, and even to the extent of the boy giving the comments. So the mother was like, she was surprised that even the boy could notice that and give his own comments too. Like, why must it be a woman? And at the other hand, when they were coming back, the male pilot didn't do it well, and she now pointed it out to the boy that, can you now see? The landing was not too smooth. So she was just using that as an example for us to see the vivid description of the belief of everyone that anything that is well done, are always being attributed to men. I don't know if I've answered that question. Yeah. And I want to react to this question that, is there any protection for anyone that is being harassed? Yes. And this is one of the motives, the reasons for this gender mainstreaming. If there is any case of sexual assault, all we are telling you and saying is that it should be reported before the end of the first 24 hours or 72 hours. Why? Because we have prophylactic treatment that should be done before the end of the first 72 hours. We want to pay more attention to the fact that such incidents should not lead to pregnancy, and we are aware that unknowingly the person could be infected with HIV. So for these two important reasons, if there is any case of harassment, we want anybody that is aware of this or being harassed to report at the Gender Mainstreaming Office or at Youth Friendly Center before the end of 72 hours, because they have prophylactic treatment and such. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll react to some of the issues raised here. Well, someone talked about, mentioned the issue of victimization. In the University of Sexual Harassment Policy, which is based on the told that you download it, there's a section that says prohibition against victimization. So when you report, you're not going to be defined. So for instance, the university shall ensure that all processes and procedures related to the implementation of the sexual harassment policy are as much as possible corrected. We are not interested in destroying anybody to correct that person. Okay? And not punitive. It shall not be designed to destroy personalities or undermine character. Any form of victimization perpetrated by the staff, students, or any other member of the university committee against any person who makes a complaint of sexual harassment or who exercises in good faith his or her right under this policy is strictly and expressly prohibited. Okay? There are so many of them. But and any person who is found victimizing any member of the university committee in violation of this policy will be subjected to appropriate disciplinary action. The university disapproves of false allegation of sexual harassment. I mentioned that when I was doing my presentation. It is therefore a violation of this policy for any individual to report an untruthful or manifest fidel claim of sexual harassment. So I think we talked about that. Then we go to some other issues raised. Talked about meritocracy in appointment in government. If they say, for instance, in Southwest, 1 person, South is 1 person, North Central another, and it's one person. So how do was it 2? I think that was what someone was saying. That's a different thing. Yeah, we're talking of equity here. If it's the woman that is competent for that particular position or post and from southwest, then the woman takes it. So you will not say because there are two sexes in human society, then the southwest or southeast must bring two. Do you understand? So we only use sex. Because that's why equity comes in. If, for instance, we say we want to encourage female students to study engineering in the University of Ibadan, and we say, okay, 50 students for CA, and only 10 female students apply to study engineering, maybe elective. Do we say we must have 25? Where will we get them from? Do you understand? So it's not a case of equality. But if we look at the people that apply, did they pass? Is there any way we can take two? Yeah, so it's not a case of it was equal. No, not do that. Human society is not like that. You can't run human society like that. So bride wealth. So when you say bride wealth, then for what you talk about bride wealth, there are cultural issues you can change. And you should know that culture is context specific. What obtains in this culture will not obtain in that culture. Do you understand? So look, it's not everything there. It must be like this. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So when you talk about bride wealth, what's given to the woman by God? Not of you that from faculty of God that did anthropology. Not when they must have taught something like that. And why some of these things are done in certain cultures. So it's not you're buying the girl. Someone has been giving that, nurturing her, training her, and she has been contributing economically to the family if it's agrarian environment or society. And you want to take her away. You are appreciating what they have been doing in the life of that person. So it's not that you are buying. It's when the Igbo people came, they say it's right price. They are paying. So it's not, please, I want you to have a holistic understanding of that. Rotation for the reporter, we have talked about that. Okay, the issue of Zikite. I said, can you imagine when I was on undergraduate student, that was quite a long time ago. So I don't know if they still do that. And I'm not singling out Zikite. It can be in any form. Because I know that in the University of Ibadan, we have much of that anymore. So when I say, you guys are well, please don't say we're going to tell that is equality. You don't retaliate one party cannot correct another party. Alright? So please, so that you don't enter into trouble. I think there's single sex school and mixed school. It depends. For me personally, I think I prefer mixed school. I think I prefer, but let's do single sex school. Clear monitoring because of homosexuality, lesbianism, and all that. For me, I prefer mixed school for children at the secondary school level. People of that went to boarding school. They see, but that's what the moral ethos of that particular environment is written. The moral environment, they know. So if it's a single school, I know that even if you miss school, of course something can happen, but it's worse. The issue of lesbianism and all that. That's what we have our government. Sometimes a woman will tell me a particular city in Nigeria, I don't want to mention it because an ethnic group may feel bad. Of women that went for secondary school, they were interested, got married and continued. And it almost started changing into a kind of culture. As married women, some of them started killing their husbands so they could continue. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Thank God we have this law now. And we have to do some things in order. So I think that was covered a lot of law.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sheikh Martins from the Faculty of Arts, Department of Philosophy. My question is, if we are to look at this gender equality, I want to ask about the religion aspect of this gender inequality. We heard it told that females should cover their head, that they are restricted to some places in the church, as in the Bible, that they should be submissive to their husband. And we are talking of submission, that means you have to submit yourself to a superior person. And even in Islam, he said, prepare you for Islam, and in paradise, you will be given.
If we are going to consider some things about gender equality, I want us to consider some other things that we did not mention. Apart from religion, I think the problem of this issue of gender problems starts from some point I want to list. We have just mentioned religion. We have cultural or societal problems. We have physiological problems. And I want to even say some government policies. So it's not all about religion. If you are just looking at religion, it's like you are just looking one aspect of the problem. And you see, the essence of this coming up, all these lectures and teachings, is for us to have change of mind. Let us put aside the issue of religion now. Let us put aside the issue of physiological or biological makeup of the woman. We want everybody to have that assertiveness within his or herself, that whatever a man can do, ladies or women should make up their minds that I can do it. For one to achieve anything, it comes from your determination. If only the number that we have here would have change of mind and just see everyone as equal, and let us act like that, interact like that, see ourselves like that, then a lot of things will change. When I mention physiological aspect of it, we all believe, or we all have this mindset that women are weaker vessels. Am I right? Yes. But what is it that is so weak in women? Like we heard from Professor, the Dean of Faculty, when she became the HOD, people were like, the post and pregnancy. They were like, okay, this is what we are talking. And it's one aspect of the physiology that I'm talking. A woman with pregnancies, nobody would have expected that she would perform. But she made up her mind. That was what I was describing, determination. Even with the physiological things, a woman can rise up to any challenges and still make it. So the issue of religion, we are the one that will put things together and change some things and let it work for our society. Like the society aspect of it I was mentioning. We have so many society problems, factors. They'll say, okay, when men are talking, women cannot talk. If your husband is there, the wife is there, the woman cannot stand up to talk while the woman is talking. Dr. Ademada was saying, what's wrong about the daddy getting to the kitchen and making the dinner? I was telling my sister, I said, the day a woman will do that, that's the day, and the in-laws coming to see the woman, that is the day that woman will leave that house. So why don't we start to change from us? We young minds, even right from here in the house, you have sisters, junior and senior. You have brothers, junior and senior. Do things together. Let us have gender equality. I don't know if I have answered that question.
The issue of it's very, very critical. That's why we continue to tell you that you are privileged to have this training. Because a lot of people graduate and find yourself in different parts of the world. Yourself in different parts of the world. There are places you get to. It's called that it's your work, you get a job. You not go with that kind of misogynic attitude. I'm a man. That's why, for instance, somebody told me that a lot of Nigerian people are having problems with their marriages there in the US. So many. I think for Southeastern Nigeria. So many. Because people come to say, I'm a man. How can I do this? Without knowing I need to change. Right? I'm people seeing a young man and a woman in the US. He told me that when some of these gender issues were raised in the conference, he said that things are changing. But he's from Anambra State, but he had decided to change himself. He was carrying the child to the conference because the wife was working. He was doing his PhD. When we had a dinner, he carried the children to the different place. He said the wife had gone to work again. So if you say I'm a man, then the woman will go and work at contact. The rest of children are really good. You are not working. Or maybe you do fewer hours, just more job, more her job pays better than can keep the family. You say I'm a man. What if you say I'm not interested in this marriage again? They now say that our women, when they get there, because of liberalism, they begin to do this. Like what that causes. So let us begin to change our attitude for the betterment of human society. It does not mean that women should look down on the men. That is wrong too. Those are things are no longer the same. It's how can I help? A woman is doing what I like to do. As a human being that has love in her heart, I say love the person. And she died of stress. So please, the issue of religion, you have to also, you can't really contextualize, I don't know how to say it, but what happens in this one is different from what happens in this one. People don't turn religion to see themselves. You may see somebody from that kind of religion, particular religion, and you will give the best to the children, give them the best of the education, and that person say no, because of this, you just won't go to school. I remember in Igbo land, there was a time people sent a child to school, to university, after secondary school, go and marry. But today in Anambra State, UNESCO has intervened to appeal that the boy child should be sent to school. Now females are going to the university, boys say no, after higher years they are going to trade. They are now appealing to them to go to school. You see, culture is dynamic. It's not starting, it continues to change. The idea that the value of our life is enhanced, we should have better and higher quality of life. That makes sense of it. Thank you very much.
Have you enjoyed this workshop? We have enjoyed the days of we are very close to the law department, so if you have not enjoyed this, raise up your hand to that person is not even here. Nobody, yes, not here. So on this note, I want to thank you for your patience. But before I just round off, I would like the Deputy Dean of Students to say one or two things because the Dean of Students was here. This is Deputy Dean of Students. UI is gender sensitive. If you know our slogan, creating a UI, creating a gender sensitive for all. Can you look through this? Just take this and then you look through the first page, the cover page. UI, can we read it together? UI, creating a gender-friendly space for all. So you want to listen to a Deputy Dean of Students who is a woman here too. Please do me.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry I also came in because I have to attend to some other things. I'm happy that this program is on. Well, I'm not happy that the attendance is very poor. But for those of you who are here, from what you've been told, you are really lucky to have been part of this gathering. And I want you to see yourself as ambassadors. Okay, ambassadors for the gender mainstreaming and gender equity issue. When you leave this place, don't hesitate to share what you have learned with your friends, with your colleagues, in the departments, in the faculties, in the hall, wherever you meet yourselves. Try and share what you have learned, what you have had, share the literature, refer them to the website, the academic information, and all that, so that everybody can benefit from it. I've also discussed with the director, we have to also organize this program even for Starlight, for staff and for everybody, because everybody is going to learn from it. We all need to change our attitude, our conceptions about this gender issue. And like you've been told, when you hear about gender, it's not only about the female gender. Gender refers to both sexes, both male and female, and we should see it that we all need to live together peacefully. The male has their part to play, the female has their part. We all have things to contribute, to
a good society and for us to live peaceably with one another. So I want us to see that we all need ourselves to live together peacefully and to interact and to learn from one another. And then some of these concepts that we have in our heads that some of us, we actually grow up with it, but as time goes on, we have to keep changing some of those misconceptions that, oh, this profession, this job, this duty is for the girl, this is for the boy. I remember an instance in our home, very recently, I have some girls staying with me who had to come in because of accommodation problem that I accumulated in my house. I've almost turned one of my house into like a guest hostel. Then, and I told them, what is this morning? They are undergraduates like you. Two of you are going to watch the car, and this one will go to the kitchen because then one of them said, car? I've never watched car in my life. I said, oh, really? Then you have to learn. And I said, okay, you are going to learn. Follow this guy. I said, so who watches car in your house? He said, it's my brother. He was my brother, he wasn't the car. It's my brother. I've never watched the car. I said, okay, that's good. So you are going to learn. You know, that's some of the conceptions. It's like, oh, this kind of thing is for boys. Oh, girls go to the kitchen, boys to watch the car. Oh, you know, that kind of a thing. So we have to learn that to share roles and duties in the home. And like we've been told, you know, some people think that boys cannot cook, they are not supposed to cook. There's nothing like that. When you're in the hall now, some of you have to learn to cook. At least cook beans or whatever to eat to survive. If you have always left all to the girls, then what happens? You spend all your money on book and all that. So we have to learn that, you know, there are no strictly men or male specific roles, female specific roles. God has done so that we can share things together. And like I said, as you go on, be determined to be ambassadors, you know, to pass this good news and what you have learned to with other students. I wish you all the best. God bless you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We are very, very grateful for that contribution. You will agree with me that what you have just read from that handout or like a flyer is true in most of our units in the University of Ibadan now. Now we have female, the dean of law is a female, isn't it? And we have very many male deans. And we are still going to have many more. Some HODs are females. That shows that you are sitting down there, you can be the president of your association and you will be a female. And we find out that even on campus, I think in education, the president of the student whatever is a female. I want to bet, you know, the president of the association is a female, you know. So you don't have to sit down, for the place of the woman is not in the kitchen alone. Very important. Whatever potential you have in you, you should make sure you make use of this potential. Because you cannot just sit down there and those things will remain with you. So the General Mainstreaming Office is located at the Student Affairs building. If you come up the building, it's very close to the DR of students. In fact, very close to the Dean of Students Office and the Dean of Deputy Dean of Students Office. Room number 5. That is where we are located. And I also want you to know that the University of Ibadan is committed to the attainment of gender equity. Don't forget, it may not be equal, you know, but there's fairness. Both male and female, you have the opportunity, equal opportunity to participate, you know, in any activity that's going on campus. So we are not driving for equality. We are saying that we should provide opportunities for fairness and opportunities that may come with. So we should not relegate ourselves to the background. The second thing I want you to also take note of is that the University of Ibadan considers any act of sexual harassment as gross violation of the fundamental human rights of the victim and academic freedom in the case of students. Whether you are male or female, you are free to go to the library, you know, and come at any time. We have the security, you can see the security people around here. If you want to go to anywhere, you go and read, you go and read. And if anybody harasses you, please make sure you report such a person to the Gender Mainstreaming Office. We are not going to write it on the and bring it out. No. It's going to be treated with love confidentiality. I hope it is clear. Let me also say that as men may harass women, of course, women also harass men. In what way? If you sit down there and you open your lap, and the lecturer that is teaching you is a man, you think it's a stick, he does not have feeling, and you open the thing very, very well. You are harassing the man. Sometimes you wear certain, dresses that you don't put on dresses that you want to show what is there. If I see some student that come into my office, I say, please, you have not shown this thing well. You don't put it here. Why don't you put it down so that they can see the thing well? Sometimes you sag, and beside your trouser is just here, showing some part of the pants. You are harassing men. So when you see such a person involved in the case of rape, you are showing them that you are available. So let's be very, very careful. Dress, decently. We talk about dress sense in the rest of the Bible. We are not talking about dress code now. When you are coming out, you go out, you look at yourself, am I dressing, moderately well, so that you will not be harassing the people in the community. So I want to thank you for your patience, because when we came in, very few people were here. Many of them have gone now. Yesterday we had good time with people from agri, clinical sciences, pharmacy, those from those departments. I will also encourage you that next time we make this call, it is meant for everybody. The fresher should know this. You have a copy of this now, so our rules and regulations, the penalties, everything is there, the visual and audio conduct, types of sexual harassment, penalties that will follow if you are found. Please, they are all here. And then the gender policy document too, we have this in our flyer. I also want to encourage you, if you want to work as volunteers, we will be very glad to work with you. You want to be a volunteer, you want to work with the gender mainstreaming office, maybe during your break time or during your the time you will not be busy, we will be very happy to have you. Just let us know, come to the office, register your name. I also learned that some students want to start a gender mainstreaming club. If you want to belong to such a club, we are going to be registered and we are going to have constitutions. Please, I would like you to write down your name with is Mr. Isaac here? Please, stand up for recognition. Just come to the gender mainstreaming office. Today you can write down your name with it. So we are going to have peer educators workshop, and we are going to tell you what all that will be involved in that. Somebody talked about religion. I was so impressed yesterday because majority of those who came from the Muslim religion. The religion is also decent. No religion is saying that you should begin to do what you ought not to do. So this thing doesn't have to do with religion. It's the fear of God in you that was have to put in your dressing, in the way you comport yourself. Because the two religions talk about it. So please, I want us to make sure that we are decent. And when anybody is harassing you, whether your mate or your lecturer or whoever, feel free to report such a case. We are not going to write down your name. We are only going to give you a number. And that number, if nobody knows, please, and it's not going to be made open, So feel free, because you are freshers, we don't want you to go through any problem at all. Please take note of this very, very well. I also like to thank the members of the Gender Mainstreaming Committee of the University of Ibadan. Very few of us are here now. Lectures, we have started lectures, everybody is busy. Dr. Demola is part of us, Dr. Kumolo is part of us, our deputy of students is part of us. Mr. Okunula, please can you stand? Mr. Okunula too is part of us. People from my side, Mr. Ojuko and my dear brother, the President of Recognition. Thank you very much for coming. We are very many. We have a nice we have a staff school in the community around here. So if you want to be a member of the club as a student, you can put down your name before you go. To thank the members of the Gender Mainstreaming Committee for your support and for coming. And the Lord bless you richly. If you cannot come to the office and you want to give us any information, look at this flyer. You can take a look at the back. Our email is there. Our website is there too. So you can send that information. Maybe something is going on and you don't want to come physically to report, you can send in your information to us through this address. And if you check the university bulletin too, we have such phone numbers there, security phone numbers. It's well secured. You can send your text message to us and we will address the issue without mentioning your name. You don't need to put your name if you don't want to. On this note, I want to close this meeting. I want to say thank you for coming. And I want to ask you that all that you have heard today be put into use. And that you should come into the GMO office at any time. We are so small to know you, and we are so big to do what? Thank you very much. You know, they are friendly. Put your hands together, people. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan, I want to say thank you to you for coming, and I wish you well in your endeavor. I wish you success in your exam because I know the exam is so close, isn't it? You have to do well. So thank you and best of luck.